happening, people? It's your girl Minna. What the hell? Why is my camera so high up? Damn. I decided to clean my studio today, and I don't know. I just feel like everything looks weird. I feel like my camera is tilted. I feel like it's wonky. Big up to everyone locked in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. Road to 15K. We're not that far off, so hopefully we'll probably hit it before the end of the season. How you lot feeling after yesterday's game? Because let's be real, a lot of people didn't anticipate that United would score 3 goals and keep a clean sheet. I remember very well a lot of the predictions in the chat were Man United to scrape a 2-1 win. Some people predicted potentially a loss, but Man United seemed to pull it out of the bag. They seem to pull it out of the bag with a 3-0 victory. So we are going to talk about everything to do with that. Man United got 1 foot in the final, and it's very fitting, guys, for the story that they are in the process of knocking Athletic Club out, given the fact that the final is in their stadium. So hopefully we'll be back at that stadium in about 3 weeks' time to play in the final, and it could be an interesting opponent. We're going to talk about that, so be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. We're going to talk about the reported fee for Antony. Manchester United looking for about 40 to 50 million euros, which is about up to 40 million pounds for him. Real Betis want him to stay. I mean, former legend Jokin is coming out saying, I will provide the card to keep him hostage or something like that, or to kidnap him if it means he stays on a permanent deal. They are going all out. And shout out to Antony, because he scored a really good goal yesterday. We've seen him do that cut in left foot quite often, but he scored with his weaker foot. It was off the rebound that his shot got blocked, and he got the rebound, hit it first time volley with his right foot. And you know what? I want Real Betis and Chelsea to meet in the final, and I will actually support Antony and Real Betis. Just for agenda purposes, I will support Antony and Real Betis. But we're going to talk about that. Reportedly, Jim Ratcliffe is looking to sell Nice, and this could lead to a domino effect at Manchester United, potentially for a full takeover. We're going to talk about that, so be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. If you guys are new here, guys, it's hot. It's so hot outside, bro. And the reason why I'm complaining about it being hot is not because I don't like the sun, because I do. I enjoy the UK when it's sunny because everyone's just in a good mood. But my studio space is baking, bro. It's baking, and it's facing the sun as well. So I have to get blackout curtains, shut the curtains so that there's no sunshine. Basically, trap myself in this room, turn on my air purifier and my fan, and just keep the room cool. But when I got bare set, I got lights on, I got a camera, I got a computer, I got a laptop, it's too much. It's too much. So if you guys don't hit the like button whilst I'm practically burning in here, then I don't know. Maybe you guys just want to see me suffer. If you want to join the membership club as well, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel, the ever-growing channel as well. If you want to support the channel in alternative ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love. That also will go a long way. I'm gonna need you guys to get involved. Let me see what you lot are saying in the chat. We deserve another penalty too, but the ref was sweating bullets. You know what? The ref actually dealt, I think, with the hostility of the crowd very well, because a lot of referees, I feel like they would have just succumbed to the wishes of the opponents or the crowd, sorry, in particular in that moment. I mean, firstly, that penalty was a penalty. The first penalty was a penalty. Clear-cut chance. Stopping a clear-cut chance. Whether that was in the box, outside of the box, bro, he was going to get sent off. Number one. Number two, I think it was funny on the flip side in the second half when they tried to do the same thing with Maguire. It was not remotely the same. That Garnacho chance, I think, was a penalty, but I also think the angle that it was from, maybe where the ref was looking at it, because he didn't call for it at all. It went to VAR as play continued. It looked like a tangle of legs, but he did clip him. Was that more softer than the other penalty? Yes. But I also think, like I said, in my opinion, I think the ref dealt with the hostility of the crowd very well, because, bro, it felt like I was scared. I was scared watching in the second half when they were booing and going crazy. And I don't know if you saw, there was, I think, once or twice when the referee got in the way of the ball and the ball bounced off of him. The crowd went mental. Like, it's an accident. But that's the kind of vibe, that's the kind of environment that the ref was dealing with, a very hostile one, both from the players and the fans. So I think the ref did pretty well. And given Man United's record in Europe against Spanish teams, that's all I have to say. It was a different experience for me, in my opinion. Minna, remember I said someone will win 3-0. You did, to be honest. Imran did say someone will win 3-0, but I can't give you credit for it because you said someone rather than United. Could have gone either way. It really could have gone either way. But listen, we've got so much to talk about in it. So let's quickly, before we actually start on football stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen this whole chat about 100 men versus one gorilla. Who do you guys think would win? Because there's no way on God's green earth, the beautiful earth that God has created, that people actually think 100 men could beat a gorilla. A gorilla! There's no way people think that. The first 30 of them are getting knocked out straight away. Maybe the gorilla might get tired a little bit. But unless they're using a gun or something, they're not I don't know. I just seen this discourse online, and it's a funny discourse. It's nearly as funny as when someone made a starting 11 of animals during the international break. But I was just shocked at how many people saying 100 men could win. Now, if it was 100 women versus a gorilla, we just have to talk and complain, and I'm sure the gorilla will want to kill itself. So I would put my money on 100 women, because if I'm one of those 100 women, I'm just going to complain. I'm going to talk too much. I'm just going to keep telling story after story. And the gorilla's dead. The gorilla don't want to hear it anymore. The gorilla don't want to hear it anymore. Whereas 100 men, they're going to fight with pride. You know, the real soldier in all of this is the first one that steps up. The first person that steps up to fight the gorilla, that is the person I give my full respect to. Because I can't lie, if you said to me, you know, you have to be part of the 100 people fighting a gorilla, I'm gone to the back of the queue. Like, put me last, and even then, I'm gonna hide amongst the dead bodies. You can't stop me. Gorilla is dead, man. Really? The gorilla taking everyone down? That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking as well. Gorilla beats them unless Nuruddin lands over. One gorilla is winning. Realistically, only 5 men can fight at a time, and the gorilla is too powerful. That is it. And I was, out of curiosity, I was researching about the physical aspects of a gorilla and the way that their bones are formed and whatnot. Humans are not beating a gorilla. They're not like when I think of a gorilla, I think of Donkey Kong from Mario Kart. Yeah, even Donkey Kong from Mario. Wait, is Donkey Kong a donkey? Hold on, wait, that would be, wait, no, surely. What animal is Donkey Kong? Oh, it's a gorilla. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say no way Donkey Kong is a donkey. But yeah, I'm thinking of Donkey Kong, which if I'm fighting Donkey Kong, maybe I might like, you got 100 men might be able to fight Donkey Kong. But if we're talking about like, it depends on how the gorilla was raised. Like, did the gorilla come from like a loving family? Did it come from a one-parent household where, you know, it's got hustle mentality, you know, had to come up on his own? What's the background story of the gorilla? That's what I need to know. Also, does the gorilla have any like conditions? Like, does the gorilla have a dairy intolerance? Because, you know, you might be fighting halfway and then, you know, suddenly the gorilla needs to go toilet and he can't go toilet during the fight, so he's just going to dash everything at you that comes out of his body. That's crazy. So does the gorilla have a dairy intolerance? Is the gorilla allergic to pineapple or peanuts? Because that's a weapon. Like, you could just dash pineapples at him or dash peanuts at him. So that's the thing. I feel like there's so many things that contribute to this conversation. I'm taking the gorilla, man. The moment first man's head gets ripped off is we don't have the capacity. Listen, the first guy that steps up is the bravest person. The bravest person ever, like more braver than anybody that's ever walked this planet in the last 100 years. Because I'm standing way, way, way back, and I'm just watching from a distance. But this conversation really made me think. Genuinely speaking, I think 100 women, we could take the gorilla down, but not by fighting, by just annoying the shit out of the gorilla. I think we could do that because I know I'm annoying. So I know that if there was 100 me's, easily. I think if it's 100 average men, then the gorilla will win. But 100 prime Mike Tysons, then it might be a different story. Yeah, I think context matters, in it. So it depends on who the 100 people are It depends on, like I said, the upbringing of the gorilla. Does the gorilla have any like dairy intolerances? Is it allergic to pineapples or peanuts, or is it allergic to anything that, you know, you can use possibly as a weapon against the gorilla? You know, there's a lot of questions to be asked. The 100 men, are they 100 normal men? Are they 100, you know, wrestlers, sumo wrestlers or something? I don't know. This conversation's been interesting, but enough about that. I just wanted to hear you lot's thoughts, because I thought I was crazy to be thinking that that the gorilla could easily smoke 100 men. But I'm glad to see that there's quite a few of you lot that actually agree with me. I don't know what to do with that, but ChatGPT said 100 men can definitely take one gorilla. Now someone needs to make a film about this, man. The guy that made Sinners, what's his name? He needs to make a movie about this, because now I'm curious. Now I'm really, really curious. But make sure you hit the like button if you've just come through. You're probably thinking, what the hell are these lot talking about? Some breaking news, or some official news. Manchester United have signed Enzo Cannavaro. Now, this is a very interesting name because it's a double barrel name. I'm trying to figure out what his nationality is. I know obviously he's from France, but I'm interested to know what his background is, because it's a double barrel name. But anyway, Manchester United have signed the youngster until 2030 with the option of a further year. United beat off competition from PSG, Chelsea and Monaco. PSG wanted him, but he said yes to Manchester United. Some information about him, if you guys are not familiar with him. Firstly, his career is taken to a similar trajectory as Paul Pogba, because they both came from the same academy. He's a centre forward, 18 years old, 6'2", I think, apparently, and has been playing at a junior level. He's from Cameroon. Okay, cool. He's been playing at a junior level. Now, just quickly on him and what's going to happen with him, it's expected that he will go out on loan to one of Ineos's sister clubs, which is most likely, I think, the Swiss team, that he will go out on loan to. And then they'll see probably how he progresses. But he's done his medical, signed his contract, done his media duties, etc., etc. And that's another signing for Manchester United for a academy level player. Maybe not what you guys want to hear in terms of, you know, wanting a final product for the first team, but it seems like Manchester United are doing this whole buying young products, prodigies, potentials, whatever you want to call it, either having them play in the academy, having them go out on loan, and then possibly either having a route to the first team for them, number one, or number two, probably sell them on. This is given, like, it reminds me of the Red Bull model. It reminds me a bit of the Red Bull model. The most important thing for me, though, is that Manchester United, Wilcox, Barada, whoever's pushing this, they find the right balance. They find the right balance. We cannot be the team that just buy young players consistently. How come we don't sign kids from the English youth system? They usually fare well and sell better. That's a good question. The only people, well, we've brought some from the English youth system. We brought Chido, we brought Aiden Heaven, but Aiden Heaven was for the first team. We brought Samuel Lassalle. It seems like, I think Man United are doing what they haven't done much in recent years, or in the recent number of years, and that's recruiting across the European and African and South American regions. If you lot notice, there's quite a lot of the players that they're signing or they're linked to have, you know, our academy players playing in smaller leagues or smaller clubs across different places that United historically haven't recruited from in a long time. And I'm not mad at that. Honestly, I'm not mad at that. I think, you know, it's important to get, you know, recruitment is two things. It's your youth products, but it's also your first team players, and you've got to get the balance right. And obviously we won't know about whether United get the balance right or not until, you know, next season, when the summer or when the season starts and we see what exactly United are working with in the squad. But it also kind of reminds me of a little bit of what Chelsea are doing. Chelsea did it to another extreme. I mean, bro, I saw a report that said that Todd Bowley met Ruud Gullit, and he asked Ruud Gullit, "Oh, who are you?" And he said, "Oh, I'm a football player." He said, "Oh, okay, what club did you play for?" The guy played for you guys and managed you guys. So I think Chelsea are a bit on the different side of the spectrum in terms of how they are recruiting, because they're recruiting in excess, I think, of young players in comparison to the senior level players that they need. And then they're loaning players out or they're selling them. So I hope with this United find a good balance. And I also like, I don't want to come across as I don't want this to sound wrong, but I like the fact that Man United are now looking at scouting from the French leagues, from AFCON under 17s, from the lower leagues in South America, because that's where you're going to find the raw talents. You're going to find the talents that have potential, the players that have potential but need to be nurtured, and it will cost you less in the long run potentially. We already saw how Caicedo turned out for Manchester United. Big up Minna, big up. I hope you're doing well. Sounds like an interesting prospect from the comparisons. I hope he comes good, but we do need more experience for the present. 100%. I don't think I don't think this youngster here, Enzo, is going to be a first team player. From what it sounds like, the plan is to send him out on loan next season and let him get some first team football under his belt. And once he does that, then obviously Manchester United will know better as to whether or not he will be able to be part of the first team. I think we're trying to find a way to make money. You buy cheap and young talent. Worst case, if they are not United level, you sell and make profit. Another way that United could look to make profit, and thank you for bringing that up, OJ, is this man right here. Reportedly, Real Madrid are interested in signing Alvaro Fernandez. If you lot remember, Man United sold Alvaro Fernandez to Benfica for absolute peanuts, but they do have an 18 million euro buyback clause, and Benfica won 60 million euros for him from other clubs. So where do Man United come into this? Real Madrid want Manchester United to be a bridge between Benfica, between the player and themselves. They are interested in getting Manchester United to activate the buyback clause and then sell Alvaro Fernandez to Real Madrid. Now, this is what makes me laugh, because I feel like with the desperation that United have for money, this could be something that they consider. And one thing I will say is, please, let's not do Real Madrid any favors. Let's not do, unless you're giving us a good quality player in exchange. We're not doing you a favor. You've never done us a favor, first and foremost. But this is the maths behind it. Buyback clause, 18 million euros. Real Madrid want to buy him for 30 to 35 million euros. Benfica wants 60 million for him. Now, I will be totally honest, I'll be totally honest. If they've got 30 to 35 million euros to spend on a left back, they are getting the short end of the stick when it comes to improving their team, because left back at Real Madrid has been a problem, and it is an evident problem this season. There are quality left backs on the market. Real Madrid want to cheap their way out again, because they're getting Trent on a free on the other side. The last time they brought a backline player for a substantial amount of money was when they brought Militao back in 1920 season. They brought him for 50 million euros. Ever since then, players that they've been signing have been on a free, or they've been signing forward players for the more extravagant transfer fee. Man United don't need to do Real Madrid a favor. They don't. I don't know why, by the way, this is news to suggest, to kind of put out there that Real Madrid plan to use Man United to do this. No, and the only thing that makes me think maybe Man United might do it is the desperation that they have for money. If they buy a player for 18 million, what's that, like 12, 13 million pounds, and they sell him they can make about 15 million in profit. They also, by the way, have a sell-on clause if Benfica sell him to another team. That percentage, however, is not as high as maybe what they would make of selling to Real Madrid. How much did they pay Rudiger? I'm pretty sure they got Rudiger on a free. But that is interesting, because I always thought, the left backs in the market, and I can't tell Real Madrid who they should and shouldn't buy, but I thought Kirkes was more of their kind of left back that they would want. Atletico Madrid have reportedly inquired about Antony, Manchester United are willing to sell him for 40 to 50 million euros. That's about, if they can get 42 million pounds for him, that's good. From a net book value perspective, Man United make a profit. Now, what is net book value? Because we always hear that term, net book value, PSR, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. Net book value is when you sign a player, you allocate their transfer fee across the number of years of their contract in your accounts. So if Antony, we brought him for 100 million euros on a 5+1 deal, you would allocate that across the number of years of his contract plus his wages. So each year it will decrease. The net book value of said asset will decrease by, that amount for the year. Currently, Man United's net book value, I think, for Antony stands at about 35 million. So anything more than 35 million from an accounting perspective, from an overall perspective, they're going to make a loss, right? They're going to make a loss from an overall perspective. But from a net book value perspective, which is very important because that is what PSR is based on, right? PSR is an accounting concept. Anything more than 35 million will be a profit for United, even if they're reporting a 1 million or 2 million or 3 million. Every million helps for Manchester United when it comes to PSR. So if they are able to get 40 million pounds, 42, 45 million pounds for Antony, then that is damn good business. Now, I can't lie. I actually think he would fit Atletico. I think he would fit Simeone ball perfectly, especially with the way that they defend, the aggression that they play with, the physicality that they play with, and also the way that they counter teams or the way they progress the ball with Julian Alvarez. Griezmann is still good, but he's not the level that he once was. I actually think Antony will be a good signing for them, generally speaking. And I think a Spanish team clearly is a place that he should look to be at because he's a good player, but he's not, I don't think, Premier League. I don't think he's made for the Premier League. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's some great players that have never played in the Premier League before, but they still had very good careers. Manchester United's loan players, in terms of all the players that are on loan right now, Antony is the most sellable asset out of all of them because he's the only one that's been doing well on his loan spell. He's the only one that's driving up his price, his transfer fee. He's the only one that's really doing it. Antony might be the most profitable transfer for this financial year for United. Yeah, facts. Hey, Minna, hey, I hope you're doing well. All Antony needs is to be in the final and beat Chelsea so his price goes up. On one side, Antony win. On one side, Sancho win. I want Antony to win because I'd rather Betis win than Chelsea. But also with saying that, yeah, no, there's nothing else. Other leagues don't have money. They will ask for another loan. Atletico Madrid have money. They dropped 80 million on Alvarez or 7. How much was it? 80 million that they dropped on Alvarez out of the blue. They definitely can afford it. Which is why I think Man United should explore that option if it's possible. I think he would, with Diego Simeone, I think he would be a good signing. Real Betis, by the way, are doing everything they possibly can in terms of PR, in terms of marketing, to keep him at Man United, to keep him at Real Betis. Sorry, they are, I don't know if you guys are seeing the way that they're going over, above and beyond. Like, I'm not even joking, above and beyond for, the PR that they're giving him. It's crazy. It's absolutely hilarious. It's so jokes. And Man United can't, for me, feed into that. Man United cannot feed into that and that sentiment. If you genuinely like the player and, you want him, pay up. I know Real Betis don't spend like that. So go and explore other options. Go and explore other options. They need to run us our money. All that PR won't do nothing. In fact, do Betis have a quality player to do a swap deal? Betis's best player is probably Isco, but I don't see why we need to look at a swap deal. United need players that they need the profiles that they need. They shouldn't just do a swap deal just because they want to get Antony off their books. I don't think it should really work like that, generally speaking. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button if you just come through, man. You don't know the rules. Wow, the likes are disgraceful right now. Is this how you lot are gonna do an award winner? Is this how you lot are gonna do me? And I'm an award winner, and the likes are looking that low. You guys know the rules, man. You come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat. And then you hit the like button. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel, the ever-growing channel as well. Which I said, when the season ends, we have some member content coming. We're going to be doing rewatches, watch-alongs, where I'm going to show it on screen because it's a member-only stream. I'm going to show it on screen. We're going to do rewatches of 2005 Champions League run. We're going to do a rewatch of the 2008 Champions League run, the 2009 Champions League run, the 2011 Champions League run, all for Manchester United. We're going to do that. We're going to rewatch some big games from CR7, from Wayne Rooney, from Ruud van Nistelrooy, from Ryan Giggs, you name it. We're going to be doing some, I'm trying to think of a name for the series, but we're going to be doing it, and it'll be exclusively for members. So if you don't want to join the membership club, of course, like I said, you can do that. If you want to support the channel in alternative ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love. We've got a couple of streams coming up across the weekend. Obviously, United versus Brentford, so there will probably be a match reaction for that. We will have a watch-along for the Manchester derby, the women's derby, early in the morning on Sunday. It's just before the men's game, guys, so there is no excuse for you guys to not watch the game, because United are on their way to a FA Cup final. They could do the double over City this season for the first time, I think, ever. And also, they could clinch Champions League football on Sunday. So it's a huge game. So make sure you lot come through for that watch along, and then obviously we'll have, you know, the post-match reaction for the men's game, etc. But let's talk about yesterday. Let's actually talk about yesterday's game, because like I said, nobody went into that game feeling as confident as what the result turned out to be. And I will be the first to admit it. But also with saying that, I always say I don't know what's going to happen with United, so I can't really be out here predicting stuff. I did say that United can't lose, and that's just because going away. Firstly, actually, let's start with where is it? Let's start with this. Ruben Amorim at Manchester United, Europa League versus Premier League. We have won as many games in the Europa League under Ruben Amorim as we have done so in the league, in less games. Is it the magic of the cup? Is it because, you know, is it easier, do you think, for teams to play cup games than it is, you know, to have consistency in the league? Because Man United, I think, are now the only team in Europe, the only English team, or the only team actually in Europe unbeaten, and could go on. I mean, it sounds crazy to say this, but we could go on to be invincible and win the Europa League in the competition. It sounds really weird to say that, given how bad United have been in the league. But like I said, it's really interesting to see how the manager has been able to find answers in the cup games. And even if you think back to maybe the FA Cup, because, you know, that Arsenal game when we knocked them out, I know we lost to Fulham on pens, but again, it seems like he can find the tweaks and find the answers in the cup games, because the opponents vary every single time. Man United haven't found that consistency yet under him in the league. I mean, 11 losses in 23 is, like, when I saw this graphic, I was like, rah, this actually puts it into perspective for me how bloody crap United are in the league, let's be honest. But I don't think anybody anticipated, like I said, yesterday's game turning out the way that it ended up doing. I mean, if we talk about just the people here in this picture quickly, let's start with the main guy. I think I gotta give him his dues, man. I gotta give him his dues. Casemiro, redemption story. Carragher 9 months ago was sitting on prime time British television saying, leave the football before the football leaves you. Couple of months later, Ruben Amorim comes into Manchester United and drops him from the team completely. He doesn't play a game. I can't even remember. He went a long game drought without even featuring. And he only started to feature when United were short on numbers in the midfield. And now he's come up clutch for Man United in the Europa League. And not just the goal that he got yesterday, but I also think it was his entire performance across the 90 minutes. For the first 20 minutes, United had me scared because I didn't know what sort of United performance we were going to get. Like, generally speaking, I didn't know. Athletic Club came out, they came out on fire. They came out pressing with energy, physicality, the crowd, the energy from the crowd was probably a little bit intimidating. But Casemiro kept his head when Ugarte was getting flung around, mispacing passes. Casemiro kept his cool. And, I've had my reservations about him last season, but I also knew that last season he was playing in a midfield system that didn't benefit anyone, let alone him. And it seems like now Ruben Amorim has found a way to utilize him, having maybe less defensive responsibility, but also being more involved in build-up and progressing the ball. If you saw it yesterday, he was there trying to pick up, in the second half, picking up the ball off the centre-backs, trying to ping the passes to the left and the right and get the ball going, despite the fact that, Athletic Club were happy to sit back because they were a man down. The redemption story for Casemiro and Maguire this season, or Maguire over the last 2 seasons, I would say, and Casemiro in particular this season, given how his season panned out. I remember, was it last season? He reported for pre-season looking a bit chunky. This season, he reported for pre-season in a very good shape. Despite that, he still struggled in United's midfield because of Erik ten Hag's kind of vacated system that he had in the midfield, whoever was playing there. And then, like I said, the whole Carragher thing off the back of that Liverpool game. I remember watching that Liverpool game at Old Trafford, and I was like, oh my God, he was drowning. He was suffocating in that midfield. And I appreciate the fact that him and Harry Maguire have been able to find, some redemption that could help United redeem themselves this season. Story coming from Florian Plettenberg, just quickly. Manchester United have entered the race for Jonathan Tah. We spoke about this yesterday on stream, by the way. And want to sign the 29-year-old centre-back on a free transfer this summer. Talks with his management have taken place. Tah still hasn't signed with Barcelona, but Barcelona definitely want him. Real Madrid are also in for him, as long as the move to Barca hasn't been finalised. So Man United are up against the European big dogs. They're up against Real Madrid. They're up against Barcelona, all of whom need centre-backs. Like, Man United need a centre-back. They need a centre-back. And so does Barcelona. I do think out of all the teams, Bayern Munich, are another team that's in for him as well. So that's 4 teams in for Jonathan Tah. I mean, out of all the players available on a free agency this summer, I think he's probably the best asset on the market because he's free agent, decent wages, experience, offers you quality coming out from the back, good on the ball, tall, dominant, ticks a lot of boxes. So I'm not surprised that all the teams are in for him are the European heavyweights. But also I think the age factor is one thing because, Kubasi at Barcelona, they probably want to partner him or have someone that is a lot more experienced maybe than him. I just spoke about Real Madrid and how dire their situation is in the back line. It looks like they still want to buy players. They still want to get players, on a free agency, which is not helping them. They need to go and spend money on a centre back. But I think it will be a good business for Man United if Man United can pull it off. I would never turn up my nose at a experienced quality player that has played in the system before. In terms of plays in a back three and won't cost you a lot of money if you are there just on a temporary basis. I don't anticipate that he will be there for a long time. So we'll keep an eye out on that news as well. That is just coming in now from Florian Plettenberg. Bruno Fernandes, guys. Bruno Fernandes, 19 goals, 18 assists this season in what has been a dumpster of a season for Manchester United. It's probably been a silver lining for him. However, I don't think... one thing I like about Bruno, can I say, is that I was critical of him a couple of seasons ago, saying that he needs to alter his style of play if he's going to play, if his career is going to lead him to playing in a deeper role for Manchester United. And he's done exactly that. He's become better in tight spaces on the ball. You know, I didn't always think he was necessarily that good in tight spaces on the ball, but he's definitely improved a lot. You know, his vision is always there. His ability to play good passes are always there. His ability to make good runs are always there. Sometimes he's a bit erratic, which I think, you know, you're getting that with Bruno Fernandes a lot of the time. But I like the way that he's altered his style of play, and he offers something different to United to play as in that midfield pivot rather than playing in that 10. With saying that, he has been Man United's best player this season. If Ahmad probably didn't get injured. In Europa League, he's come up clutch many a times for Manchester United. Games in the Premier League, he's come up clutch many a times. 19 goals, and he might end the season with a 2020 season, guys. He might end the season with another double-digit season. And I just, for example, yesterday, I think you just saw how important he was. This is in the Premier League, by the way, in terms of possession won. He's second to Moises Caicedo. They are not even the same caliber of players. Ryan Christie at Bournemouth, Ryan Gravenberch, Lewis Cook, Elliot Anderson, Idris Gana Egea. These are all different types of midfielders that he's up against in terms of the leading the league in possession won. But that just shows again how he's tweaked and improved the way that he plays. And I respect it a lot. Another thing that I respect is, guys, these memes are killing me. These memes here are cracking me up. I saw Ahmad post a picture of Maguire looking like Maradona. I seen Ahmad posting the picture of Messi bathing Lamine Yamal. Someone photoshopped Maguire and Ahmad onto it. Ahmad posted it. I seen, again, people saying Maguire, they're calling him Harry Yamal. I've seen people photoshopping the picture from the Copa del Rey when Yamal has the sunglasses on, and it's photoshopped with Harry Maguire. I love it. It's jokes. It's hilarious. However, I have to give him respect. I have to give him props for his redemption arc. If you think Casemiro's story is a good redemption arc, Maguire's one is, I think, even better in terms of where he's come from, the level of criticism that everyone has guiltily given him, and how he's redeemed himself at Manchester United. And they've kept him for another 1 year, which some people might not agree with, but I think in terms of the priorities in the window, I think it makes sense. Maybe not long term, but I definitely think it makes sense for 12 more months, or they're going to try sell him in the summer to make some money. I sit here, look, I deadass couldn't understand what I was watching with Maguire on the right yesterday. I was like, Garnacho looks mad tall right now. I was screaming at my TV when he did the stutter step. He did the little fake shimmy to the right, put the ball in. I wish Ugarte scored just so Maguire could get the assist for that. I wish. I don't know whether Ugarte tried to flick it on, or was that a header on goal and it just ended. It was going really wide and Casemiro got on it. But again, Maguire has pulled Man United through again. Like that goal that Casemiro scored, that header. The reason why I put a lot of emphasis on it is because just before that, Lindelof made a goal line clearance, right? And if it wasn't for that goal line clearance, I think the trajectory of the game could have gone differently had they scored that. So kudos to Lindelof for that as well. But Maguire, or that, that moment of creativity from Harry Maguire started the resurgence into the game, because United were on the back foot for quite a bit. I think they weren't dominating, but they weren't equals in the game. And I feel like that just started that lit a fire in Man United's belly. And you want your players to come back from any sort of. This is why, like, if Højlund goes on to redeem himself, I'll support it, because I want them to do well as long as they are at the club. You know, when you leave the club, that's what you do is down to you. But if you are at United and you're wearing the shirt, I want you to do well every single time because we will benefit from that. And Harry Maguire has found his little different role at United. You know, central centre back, progressing the ball forward to a point where he's flipping on right wing. I'm telling you guys, that's how I play when I play right wing. Now, I'm not even being funny, guys. Dead ass. I'm not even joking. That is how I play at right wing. But let's quickly talk about Ruben Amorim. Let's quickly talk about Ruben Amorim. You lot are laughing, but come on, man. Come on. But yeah, on Ruben Amorim quickly, like I said, 1 foot in the final for United. Word to Kobe Bryant. I'm actually wearing a Kobe jersey right now. If you guys can see, wearing a Kobe Bryant jersey right now. Word to Kobe, man. Job's not done. Job's not done. I was joking around on Twitter yesterday saying Nico Williams, Inaki Williams, Serena Williams, United in 5. And people were tweeting me saying, oh, at least do this after the second leg, like you're jinxing us. Firstly, if you grow up, if you believe in jinx, yeah, grow up. Grow up. But no word of a lie, job's not done. We need to see it out at Old Trafford and get to the final. And not just get to the final. I'm not joking, guys. I'm not joking. United have to win if we come up against Spurs. I mean, even if we come up against Bodo Glimt, we have to win. But the thought, just the sheer thought of Manchester United losing to Spurs in a cup final makes me sick. Because the fact that United will be the reason why Spurs win a European trophy, I feel sick just thinking about it. Honestly speaking, the thought of it gives me it sends shivers down my spine. But also, without not just that, United have to win. You know what's also funny, guys? I don't know if you guys seen people complaining about the fact that United or Spurs could be in Champions League next year despite finishing in the lower half of the Premier League table. It's always been like that. Why is everyone complaining now suddenly? Why is it suddenly a complaint that United can finish in Champions League football because they won Europa? What makes me laugh is of that possibility is the fact that we're only in Europa because we won the FA Cup and we finished 8th that season. So we had no business being in Europa League. We had no business being in Europa League, but we won the FA Cup. I can't lie. If you win a cup, you earn the right to be there. It's not easy to win a cup. But honestly, guys, the thought of like I would say something blasphemous and say if Amorim loses to Spurs, sack him. But I think that's a bit too blasphemous. Shout out to Ten Hag for making this all possible. That Ten Hag is not getting no shout out. I have a strong feeling Spurs will bottle it. Well, apparently, we did play Bodo Glimt in the league phase. Apparently, they have like an artificial pitch or something like. It's not real grass that they play on. What makes me laugh, guys, is that Liverpool could win the Premier League, United could win the Europa League, or Spurs could win the Europa League. Chelsea can win the Conference League. City can win the FA Cup. If Arsenal lose to PSG, a plastic pitch. Yeah, there you go. Bodo Glimt play on a plastic pitch, which they were talking about on the commentary of the Spurs game yesterday because they were saying it's 3-1. It's not unheard of if they go there and if they go there and Bodo Glimt can score 2 goals. Like it's a big possibility. My worry is that not that I'm scared of Spurs, it's the fact that we haven't beaten Spurs since 2022, I think we've drawn to them a few times, but we've lost this season. We've lost to them 3 times. They've knocked us out of the Carabao and they've beaten us both in the league both times. So I don't know. That tie is not done yet, Mina. It's not. But equally, we're saying that United tie ain't done either. 3-0, yes, but you guys know it just takes 1 goal. 1 goal. I feel like Man United handled the pressure quite well. They absorbed the pressure quite well in the first half yesterday. And at home it'll be different. You know, here they had the whole audience and the crowd. No way they do us 4 times. That would just be crazy. Honestly, it's the fact that they can beat us 4 times in the season and we can be the reason why they win a European trophy. I can't do that, guys. Genuinely speaking, I can't do that. But I don't know. I'm staying optimistic. Listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. We've got quite a few streams coming up across the weekend. Like I said, we've got a watch along coming up for the women's derby. We have post-match reaction for the Brentford game as well coming up. If there's, I don't know, I might do a watch along for Leipzig versus Bayern Munich tomorrow, which is at 2:30. Bayern Munich can win the league, I think, tomorrow, if I'm not wrong. So that'll be an interesting one. I might do a watch along for Arsenal versus Bournemouth, but there's not really much to watch for anymore in the Premier League. It's just a race for top four. Relegation's done. The league is done. And it's the race for Europe. That's it. That's really all that is to see. I anticipate for the Brentford game there'll be a lot of changes. Amram has hinted at that, but he also hinted at that last time and there wasn't. But I think now he's realized that they cannot risk the possibility of injuries. So we got a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. So make sure you turn on your post notifications. So when I go live or when I post, you guys get notified. I was about to say that. Damn, brain fart, guys. Brain fart. Listen, guys, hit the like button on your way out. You guys know what it is. Big up to everyone that stuck around. I'll be back tomorrow, inshallah, with another stream. I'm out, guys. Hit the like button. Peace. Have a good Friday, guys. Go and enjoy the sunshine.